G'day everybody and welcome to another episode of Bushcraft and Camping Adventures. My name's Craig and today we're here with episode 3 of the Clay Chronicles, and this episode is all about processing raw clay and turning it into workable clay. Now the first segment of this video is going to be a little funky because there was audio issues, so bear with me, it'll be a couple of minutes then I go back to normal, but let's launch straight into it. So processing clay is a really important process, obviously, if you want to make clay from a primitive source. You can't process it poorly or else it's not going to fire properly, and you are going to have a lot of problems with getting vessels that actually hold their shape and become functional. So there's two main ways you can process clay. As you can see here, we've got the clay that we've collected from the farm. Now this clay is already dried. So if I want to do it the dry method, I can simply grind it all down, get it down to a fine, sand-like consistency, and then just hand pick out all the impurities. It's the one you go for if you're in a survival situation and you want to make some clay vessels though. That's not what we're doing here today. We're doing what I consider to be a much more reliable version, which is basically processing with water. So the first step is we put the clay, obviously, into the container itself. Now a container this size is good because it allows for plenty of room to mix and stir and do what we've got to do. You don't want to be working with a small container because you're going to make your life a lot harder. So let's pour all that in. The next step, we add our water. Now to that amount of clay, which you can see, I added in 3 litres of water. Truth be told, I could have added in 2.5 litres. Probably overshot the water slightly, but that's okay. That's not a problem. Excess water just means it'll take a bit longer to dry out later, so that's not a problem. So we add the water in, stir it up, then get your hands dirty, stick your hands in there and get your hands dirty, guys. Get in there and work all that clay, break up all the clumps, get all the clay off all the little rocks and pull out any major rocks you see. Just work it, just keep squishing it, squashing it, working it through your fingers. If you're worried there might be glass or other foreign objects in there, put on a pair of gloves. Doesn't matter if your gloves get dirty, you can always clean them. So really work that clay and get it down to what I consider a fine slurry. You want it to look like this. Now this is basically like a thick chocolate milkshake. It's velvety, there's a smoothness to it, it sticks to your hands or to a stick when you put it in and pull it out, and there's a thick viscosity to it. Now, that's it. Once you've worked the clay, once everything's broken up, that's it for the day. You leave it. Leave it in the bucket, don't touch it. Give it at least 3 hours, but I like to do it overnight, but 3 to 6 hours is a good guesstimation. And what will happen is the water will rise to the top and the clay will sink to the bottom. Now the water will bring a lot of impurities up with it as it goes. And once we have that separation, then we get to the next part of the process. Okay. So it's now tomorrow and now we're at the back. You have to excuse the exquisitely cut lawns. It's been a very busy 6 months. So we've let this sit. We've got the carrot from the front to the back, so it's got a little agitated, but you can see how the water has clearly separated from clay and water. And now the aim for the first part here is to get rid of that water on top. Now the things we're going to need, as I said before, actually I didn't say before. So we're going to need some kind of sheet, blanket, second container, something to strain out the organic matter. So the first step is we very carefully just tip it and just let that water run off. Just keep pouring it. Doesn't matter if you lose a little bit of clay in the process, just keep going until that water's all gone. Almost there, I'm losing a bit of clay, and stop. Okay, so you can see now that it's just clay now. Okay, so you give it about an hour and you wait and you do that, you repeat that process. So we'll just cut straight to the next step. Okay, so what we want to do, we want to put down our second container. I hope it's big enough. We place a screen over the top. So the idea is we're going to pour this in there and catch all the organic matter. If it takes you a couple of pours, that's okay. Doesn't matter how you get it through the sieve, as long as it gets through the sieve. This is all gravelly stuff. Now, normally it doesn't cling to the clay as much as it's doing here. So we're losing a lot, unfortunately. Alright, so that's a lot of leftovers. There's a lot of clay in there and there's a lot of gravel in there. Now, just to demonstrate, I'm going to make something. I'm going to let this dry out. I'm going to make something out of this as well. And you'll see that when I fire this, it doesn't go as good. You'll understand why we're not including this in our mix. This is all good stuff. Don't waste any of it. Alright, so this is like, it's smooth as velvet. This is perfect. There's absolutely no need to strain this off again. This is exactly where we want it to be. Okay, so this goes in here. Hold there. You just got to plan ahead with your placement here. Know how you're going to wrap it up, and just pour it in. And now we pull up the edges carefully. Nice and tight. We don't want there to be any slack. Come back down from around the back. Don't let any debris fall in. Up from underneath. Okay, have a look at that. You can see it's already dripping out. But what we want to do now, this is the careful bit, don't drop your load now. Okay, and now we twist. This is a bigger ball than I thought it would be. Okay, now, to hold the twist, I'm going to place it down for a second. There's no harm in doing that. Now, cable ties are great at this point. We can cable tie it right there. I'm a big fan of cable ties. If you're in the bush, well, obviously this whole step's getting skipped anyway, so as I said before, in the bush you're really doing the dry method. Alright, now we're going to hang this up. Now I'm well aware that this aspect of it is not primitive, it's not really even bushcraft, it's just natural processing of clay. I'm well aware of that, so don't put me to the sword. Once again, if you're in the bush, you dry it out, you squish it out, you hand pick all the impurities out, and then you add your water and you do it that way. Alright, so this is the long part. Now we leave this for a few days. We just keep coming back and checking it every day, and you'll know when it's ready when it starts feeling, look, it's all watery right now, like a big boob, and you'll know it's ready when it starts feeling like clay in there. But you got to remember, the outside is going to be a lot harder than the inside, so if the outside is not quite ready, then the inside is definitely not ready. So you need to wait, you need to be patient. So I'll see you in a few days when this is ready to show you the final piece de resistance. Alright, so we're now 2 days later, and do I look any older? Hair look any longer? Anyway, much harder. Now, it's not rock solid. As you can see, I'm able to put dents in it. I hope you can see that. Alright, but it's very hard to touch. Like a firm piece of fruit now. Alright, so it's ready to go. This is the clump of other clay with all the gravel and everything that we put into it, so just for reference. It's like a rock. So we're going to take this out the front, we're going to dissect it, we're going to see what we've got. Don't go anywhere. Alright. Okay, so let's see what we've got. So we just got to snip this open. To the moment of truth. The great revealing. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Man, that's perfect. Let's just break off a bit. It's a little bit dry. which is completely fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. So we could, now this is ready to use. Just need a little bit of water, just to get rid of those cracks in it. But that's, again, that's not a reflection of quality on any level at all. That's just a reflection on probably should have bought it in this morning. So that's ready. So now it's a matter of temping that. And if you go back and watch the last video, you'll see exactly how to temp clay. So I'm not going to cover that process here, but I put a thingy right there where it says thingy, and that will be where you go and watch the temping video. So let's recap. My first video was on finding clay, how to find it, how to recognize it, how to get it, all that stuff in nature. The second video was how to add temp, and as I said, I know that was a little bit out of order. Third video is processing. So now we're up to our molding, and look how much clay we have. That is a good amount of clay right there. Alright, so that's it. So thanks very much for watching. I appreciate your time, and I hope you've learned something today with this. Be sure to tune in for the next episode where we look at molding and creating vessels and objects, and then we're going to move on to firing, and then the last episode will be something else. So until next time, take it easy. See you later.